Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to our zero overall rebuild. We are currently in the year 2028. We're going to be doing 2029 off season and the regular season of 2029 as well here this episode. Just a little bit of a recap. We did make the playoffs. We were 8-9, which is not what you expect to be making in the playoffs nowadays, but it just turned out that the rest of our division didn't do any better than we did. So we're probably going to have one of the earlier picks in the draft as far as playoff teams goes. We didn't have any awards that we won at all. Our quarterback, though, we're hoping in this segment is going to be up to a 99 overall. I think we got him up to a 98 in this current season that's going on. So hopefully this offseason we can sign some really good players. I'm going to go through and we're basically just going to go right into our re-signing period with our guys here today. And I'm really hoping that one of these guys that we can... I don't think there was anybody else that we really had to re-sign, but just to give you guys all a little bit of a look into the players that may be leaving in our team this offseason. I haven't been recapping a ton of the players, but just to give you a little bit of a a little bit of a look into the players that we have that are up for contracts. Randy Hackett, we're going to give him that 5th-year option. He's currently our number 1 cornerback. Noah Fant, this is going to be that last season was the last one we're going to keep him around. We have our tight end 2 that's significantly younger, that we already signed him for a longer-term contract in that last season. I'm a little tempted to try and sign Donovan McGee. However, for that amount of money, and he's going to be probably playing a backup this next year, I don't think it's worth it. Sean Ferguson, I don't think it's worth it for him. Delvin McLean, we have a couple decent halfbacks on our team already at the moment. And then I think I'm gonna see if Walker Little takes a team-friendly contract. Otherwise, we're gonna probably see him. So we're gonna see kind of what we're gonna go for as far as a second tackle position in free agency here. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. Thank you guys so much for the support so far. Hopefully we can get to the Super Bowl in this season, in which case the next episode will be a Super Bowl playthrough. And I guess I will meet up with you guys at the end of free agency here to get a recap of what's happened. Alrighty, we are here at the end of free agency, so we're just going to do a little bit of a recap. There's a lot of players we signed to 1-year deals because we're hoping that we really make the signing this year. Christian McCaffrey, nobody was trying to pick him up after part 3 of day 1 of free agency, and I figured we might as well take a shot at it. We haven't had a ton of rushing game in the past, and hopefully this will help. If nothing else, he can really help provide in that backfield catching out of it for our really, really good quarterback. We signed Buda Baker. We do have the free safety that we had previously, but I decided let's move up a little bit, improve that spot, because he's getting a little bit. The guy that we had in there is getting a little bit older now. He's at an 80 overall. We re-signed Deron Payne once again, just because we don't really have anybody that's good to fill in that spot. We could have potentially replaced our first-round pick from last year. In our starting depth chart, we didn't really do that. We signed Connor Williams again. We signed Jedrick Wills to be over on the right tackle side. Joey Bosa to kind of help mentor that our current left outside linebacker, edge rusher guy. He's going into his 3rd year of his contract, and I'm just hoping to boost him up a little bit. They're probably going to split. So Joey Bosa we're probably going to have as the rush end, and we're going to probably have the other guy kind of fill in as the left outside linebacker in other cases. And then we did sign Deshaun Watson to be kind of the backup. He might also kind of mentor who we're hoping to be the backup QB of the future. We've drafted a couple guys that are pretty decent in the last couple drafts that are getting up there closer to the end of their contract. So we might try to trade one of those guys when it gets to that point if we don't make it to the Super Bowl this year and win it. So I am going to hop into the draft here. We're really hoping to get something decent out of it. I'm just going to kind of go for best player available because that's where we're at this point. If there's a really, really good looking defensive tackle or a really, really good looking tight end, we're probably going to go with that. We do have pick number 19. With that, we're going to miss out on a couple of that top talent players. We're just going to look to see kind of there's not a ton of like really high value positions here at the top. There's a lot of guys that are probably supposed to be edge rushers and offensive linemen at the top there for the most part, and then it kind of drops down. Stephen Anthony here, good thing that we have that drafted and picked out so we know not to draft him. If we really don't feel confident in our current guy, maybe we draft somebody else to replace the spot of that guy we drafted in the first round a couple years ago. But we're going to sim ahead here to pick 19. Once again, we're only going to have the first round pick and the second round pick recorded in this. We could go with the tackle approach, but I don't think that's really the right move for us at the moment. I'm going to pause the timer just to make sure that I don't time out just while I've been talking a little bit here. So like we were talking about, we're kind of looking for maybe somebody to fill in as that defensive tackle spot, something of that sort. None of these guys really look all that phenomenal unless this guy has incredible stats, 6th and 4th. He has decent stats, but I don't think it's maybe worth trying to take just because I don't think he's going to be quite that good based off of what he has here. He's going to be decent, but I want to look to see if there's something else that might be a little bit better for us. We might go back to him. Is there a tight end that does this tight end look like he's going to be really, really high overall? He has elite strength, which is pretty phenomenal considering he has the 7th most bench press reps. Not something that you really expect to come from a player that has that low of a run block rating. It's hard to know because we don't really have him drafted that much to really know where his stats are. It looks like he's probably a really good pass receiver. And as far as tight ends, we don't really have a good backup. And that might be where we go here. It's really a toss-up between that defensive tackle and this tight end. And I bet there's going to be another guy that we could probably draft to fit into that slot of being the defensive tackle. Maybe this guy that's in the 2nd, 3rd round guy. He looks probably a little bit closer to what we look for usually when we're going for nose tackle. So I think we're going to try to hope that we get that guy in the next round, and we are going to draft this tight end. Hopefully this tight end is going to be the answer for us, really put us over the edge. There's a couple of his player notes that are a little concerning for me, but I think overall this is probably the best player to help us at the moment, because I don't think any other player that was really there is in a position that's going to help us here. And so thankfully he is hidden development. Our current tight end is not, so we might even just throw this guy in if he's close to that 76 overall. Hopefully he's higher than that, and we just got a steal of the draft. And then we're going to, if this defensive tackle is available here at that 2nd pick, we're going to make that as an easy selection and go for it. And with our luck, he is gone. That's a little unfortunate for us. I was really hoping to take that guy. Does this guy look like he's probably... This guy might be the next best player. We kind of look at all those player notes there. I know it doesn't say we're a top 3 fit for him. Other than his block shedding and tackle rating, he's not that phenomenal. But I think because he has, he truly is the strongest out of this draft, I think we're going to go for it. That 43 bench press is phenomenal, and if nothing else, it'll probably make it that we may not have to draft a defensive tackle or sign another defensive tackle next year. And yeah, of course, he's not hidden development. I will catch you all at the draft recap here in a little bit. Alrighty, so here we are at the draft recap. As we know, that second round pick didn't quite turn out how we had hoped it would. Unfortunately, that defensive tackle we wanted got taken. However, this guy looks like he's still pretty decent, and we're hoping that he can actually end up developing here. The rest of the draft wasn't all that hot in any way, shape, or form. I think we might move a couple guys around just a little bit. This defensive end, he's going to be a little undersized to really play a nose tackle position, but this is Madden, so who really cares? He had really high strength value, and he moves up to a 70 overall. So we have some decent depth there now chilling at the defensive tackle position, even if it's not quite what we were hoping we would have out of this draft. And then this strong safety looked like he was going to be really good. I'm going to try to move him into a middle linebacker position. He's probably going to be not a scheme fit there, but I think just with the amount of speed he has and with him being that low of an overall, I kind of want to just go for it. And he drops to a 63 overall. So we'll kind of figure out where his best role is. I don't think it's going to be staying at strong safety. But I will catch up with you all basically at the week 1, just to do a little bit of a recap on where our roster is at and how the cutting of players went. Alrighty, here we are at week 1 of the regular season. We are going to set our season goal for making the playoffs. I don't want to set it higher because I just don't know if we're going to be able to win the Super Bowl at the moment. But we've got a pretty stacked offense here, pretty good offensive line. The only position is tight end. Vasquez that we drafted in that first round is going to move up in those depth charts probably pretty quickly. I'm thinking probably after the next dev up, I'm going to give him the starting role just because I think he might have a decent dev trait based off of how many points he's gotten in the preseason. Our defense, we've really got to hope that McPhee develops, and then these middle linebackers, they're all at an okay overall. I'm not sure if they're quite at championship quality. Otherwise, almost everybody is 85 or above that's a starter on our team at the moment. So I really hope that this season goes well for us. And something I didn't realize happened last season is Dunlap did get a dev trait up to a star dev. So hopefully he can really develop with that mentor behind him. And just for a little look into our specialists, I have Mitchell currently at power back just because he is basically the same overall for power back as Christian McCaffrey is. I'm not sure if that'll stay consistent. I might change that at some point during the season. But yeah, I hope that our team really develops well. Hope Higgins can kind of submit himself into staying in this team as opposed to being another wide receiver that just kind of falls off after like 2 seasons for us. So yeah, I will catch up with you all probably at the end of the season, at least at the playoffs, and hopefully things are going well at that point. And hopefully we can get to the point where we actually make the Super Bowl this year, but we will keep our fingers crossed that happens. But if it doesn't, we will just have to have another part to this series going on. Alrighty, I know that I said that I was going to meet up with you guys at the end of the season, but I just wanted to show that we did finally get Owen Sims up to a 99 overall. Absolute stud. He's already gotten 1 player of the week, and I think we're in week 4 right now. So hopefully he can carry us to that win. So far, we have not lost a game, so hopefully we can keep that going and make that Super Bowl in this season. Alrighty, so here we are in the playoffs. So the Lions actually did surprisingly well considering how they've been doing in previous years. I think it's that quarterback that a couple episodes ago I was like, oh, watch this guy like somehow I was like, oh, we're not going to have to worry about this guy. That guy's still on their team as their quarterback, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so I guess something's happened that he's just turned into a beast. So they went 13-4. 2 of those losses were to us. So that's why we did get that tiebreaker, I believe, was because we did have both of those wins over them. I just want to look at the playoff bracket here real quick. I think we did end up being the first seed. So if nothing else, we'll at least get to the farthest that we've gotten so far in this. I'm hoping that we'll be able to beat either whoever ends up winning this round here. I am a little concerned if we do end up facing the Commanders, because their QB has gotten the Offensive Player of the Week award like 5 or 6 times this season. So something about their offensive playbook seems to be a little busted. But our team has been doing really well. I was a little concerned. We did lose a couple games that we probably shouldn't have lost. We lost to a 2-10 Packers team, and we lost to an 0-4 Ravens team that might have ended up doing a lot better after that. But yeah, it was basically after I recorded that last segment that we got our first loss in that same week that I started doing more of the simulation. So here we're going to move forward into the wild card game. Hopefully our team does really well here. We're playing the Carolina Panthers. Hopefully there's not a big upset here. That would be a little disappointing. Just off of how far we've gotten along in this game. Zach Tom getting a development, doing some nice blocking up there. Sean Dunlap, I was hoping he was going to get a little bit more than 2 development traits this season, but 2 development traits is better than none. It's weird because it looks like it upgraded mainly his pass coverage stats, which is the opposite of what we really need. But at least for how we've been having him play on the team, it seems to work, at least for us. And I think he's going to be playing enough that we probably won't have to change anything with how everything's going. He's not getting any of those sack numbers that he would get if he was still on the rush right end position for us, like he was. Of course, we got destroyed in the playoffs. So we're going to do these upgrades here, and then we're going to see if our QB managed to get the MVP. I haven't looked at the stats for the awards for the yearly ones so far. We're also going to go into the Pro Bowl here, just look to see if any of our guys made it. I hope our QB at least did, because he was phenomenal. There's probably a couple other guys that should have made it. Whether or not they actually did, though, is a whole different question. Owen Sims, the first QB. There's 2 QBs in here that are 99 overall. The other one is Jalen Hurts, which is the only one that I'm really concerned about potentially getting that MVP over us, even though I don't think he really was getting a ton of the awards. Our Christian McCaffrey that we brought in didn't manage to get one. I don't think either of those guys are our fullback. I don't think any of our wide receivers made it, which is interesting. We must have been spreading the ball quite a bit. And I guess we don't really have any guys that are like super, super high overall. And then we did do a little bit of a split between who is the starting tight end, so I wasn't really expecting either of our tight ends to make it. But Zach Tom made it in that left tackle spot. He's left tackle too, but we'll take it. And then I don't think any of the rest of these guys were on our team that made it on the defense or the offensive line positions. I think that might be it for the players that ended up getting stuff for us. Craver made it. That's good. I think he's also in a contract year, or he's going into his 5th year this next year. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's the latter, because otherwise he's going to be asking for a lot after getting that award. And then we didn't have a return person on it this year. We've had that last couple years, but it didn't seem to happen this year. I guess let's kind of look at our stats. So our QB probably, unless he had a lot of rushing touchdowns, didn't win the award. Yeah, he only had 2 rushing touchdowns, so I'm guessing he didn't get MVP. I've realized that power back position gets a lot of touchdowns in this particular scheme. That's something that I have to think about. I'm surprised that we didn't have more passing yards, honestly, just because of how well he did this season. I guess it was he only had 2 interceptions, which is exactly what you're hoping for in a 99 overall QB. I'm so glad that he's up there now. Christian McCaffrey still got 1,000 rushing yards. But yeah, I think hopefully we had some decent sack numbers out of somebody. Yeah, we're not getting sacks. I think we might have to change up our defensive playbook just because we were 3rd in offensive yards, and then defensive yards was 15th, and we have a really, really good defense, so they should probably be doing a little bit better than 15th overall. That'll be something that we'll look at. I'm a little curious to look at who the Commanders have as like their playbook in the offseason. I'll probably do that off camera though. But yeah, let's go into next week and just see. Hopefully we had some sort of award for somebody, even if it's like probably best QB we probably got, I'm hoping. Apparently the Carolina Panthers did end up making it to the Super Bowl, so I'm glad the team that beat us at least is at that game. Upgrade points, Owen Sims got one, so I'm betting he got some award. I'm not thinking it's probably the award that we're hoping it is yet, but if it is, that's probably going to be part of the title. Otherwise, it's going to be something around Owen Sims just because him getting up to that 99 overall is pretty big for this rebuild. And he is eating up a significant portion of our cap room. So he's got to be the QB for us now. But moment of truth, here we go. And of course, Joe Burrow, they did only lose like 2 games. One of them was to us. So it makes sense that they win that award. I mean, like if you lose 2 games and the next best team wins, it loses 4, you gotta expect something happens. Owen Sims got 2nd in Offensive Player of the Year behind Jalen Hurts. That is something that I was hoping was not going to happen in this. I was really hoping he was going to get that first Offensive Player of the Year. It's crazy that you're runner-up for the MVP, best player in your conference, and then you don't get that. Vasquez did end up getting 7th, which is pretty impressive considering he only started, I think, 4 games. Defensive, we didn't really have anybody in there. Ron Tiller, who was our second round pick, he did get up to a 74 overall, which is nice. Owen Sims did get best QB, which is, I mean, you get 32 touchdowns and 2 picks in a season. You would hope that would happen. Christian McCaffrey is down there on running back. I imagine if I kept him at power back, he would have gotten probably 11 more touchdowns and he would have gotten that award because 20 touchdowns is pretty significant. Sidney Davis was our top receiver, which I'm surprised we didn't have more than 1,000-yard receiver. Stephen McDonald, who we drafted, our only lineman that we've drafted that's like ever started, ended up getting that award for us this year. Good for him. I bet he only allowed like 2 sacks or something like that because he was a guard, and they don't usually let up that many sacks in this. Joey Bosa ended up getting that spot in there. Probably didn't really deserve it based off of what I was seeing for sacks. And he was really only playing on the rush. But we had a decent season overall. I'm hoping that we can improve on it and not go down next year. We have basically improved every season except for last season. It was kind of almost the same thing. We had a 9-8 record, then an 8-9 record. So stop by next episode where hopefully we can, hopefully we will have a better season. Hopefully we'll make that Super Bowl. Hopefully there's some really good free agent signing that we can pick up. Or we somehow get the steal of the draft at like pick 30 something. So yeah, stop in for the next episode coming soon on YouTube here. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and see you next time. Peace out.